Hi, I'm standing here in the offices of LP Simonelli Buffalo Public Schools program. If you decide to come visit us here at 325 Delaware Avenue, you will be greeted by the lovely Rosalba. Hi, Rosalba.
Hi, Tracy.
How are you today?
I am very well, thank you.
Good, good. Listen, when you think about the Buffalo Public Schools program, what do you think about? Do you think about the $1 billion reconstruction program? Do you think about how it changes the lives of children, students, parents, communities? Then you're right. That's exactly what the program does. Today we have a terrific show. I will be interviewing Jean Partridge, who is the Executive Vice President of LP Simonelli and the Buffalo Public Schools program. Also, I'll be talking with Tyra Johnson, who is LP Simonelli's Project Manager for Diversity and Neighborhood Redevelopment for the Buffalo Public Schools. Who am I? I'm Tracy Cardwell, your new host for Making It Happen. Hi, I'm here with Jean Partridge, who is the Executive Vice President of LP Simonelli and the Buffalo Public Schools. Hi, Jean.
Morning, Tracy.
How are you?
Terrific.
Great. I am so glad that you're here with me today. Listen, I remember this incredible story that you told at my daughter's 8th grade graduation about 3 years ago. Do you remember that?
I think I remember that story. And
Yes.
I suspect you're going to put me on the spot here
I
to
am.
tell it over again.
Well, not all of it, but I know it was, let me start at the beginning. It was at North Park Middle Academy, School 66, which was the first school that we broke ground with in Phase 1. It was the first school that we did the ribbon cutting ceremony also. To add to that splendor, at the 8th grade graduation, they asked that you be the keynote speaker for the graduating class. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Yes,
I witnessed
absolutely.
it. Your words resonated not only to me, but to everyone that attended, how important education is to you. Now, that being said, can you tell us a little bit about how you started your construction career?
I don't remember exactly the story that I told, but I'll give it a try.
Okay.
I was actually on a path to medical school in the late 70s and started questioning really myself as to whether or not that was a profession and a career that I really chose to pursue and to live out for the rest of my life. And I remember sitting talking to my parents about whether or not I should take a year off from school and think about whether or not I actually wanted to become a physician. It was then when my parents encouraged me to pursue really a somewhat of a lifelong hobby that I had had growing up as a young boy, and that's building. I could build anything
Right.
with anything,
Right.
and I had a great time doing it. So it was my parents that encouraged me to pursue, I can quote them, they said some type of a construction program at Erie Community College. That was in 1979, and I never looked back. I graduated at the top of my class
Awesome.
from Erie Community College and was immediately, actually prior to graduation, hired by the John W. Cowper Company.
Okay.
And I began in the trades as a technical engineer, as a member of Local 545D, and had an opportunity to begin on a management track
Right.
early on in my career, which I took advantage of that opportunity afforded to me, and I never looked back.
Awesome.
So 26 years later, here we are.
Executive Vice President of a big, huge project, the Buffalo Public Schools $1 billion project. Now, I assume that this is probably the largest joint schools construction project you've ever been on.
It absolutely is. It's
Okay.
certainly the largest project that I've personally been involved with. The Joint Schools Construction Board project is unique to
Absolutely.
this particular program that's running in Buffalo, but as some people are aware, there's a desire for this type of program and this delivery system to move elsewhere
Right.
throughout the state of New York. So who knows where the future might lead us.
Right, never know. What have been some of the challenges with this project? some that you can think of off the top of your head that the team quickly overcame?
Well, I would say that two of the most significant challenges in the program have been managing
Okay.
and meeting people's expectations.
Right.
And the second is to develop a true functional working partnership
Absolutely.
with representatives from the district and from the city. If you think about it in terms of what we're doing, in many ways we essentially, by virtue of this delivery system that was chosen here, we kind of displaced what it was that they would otherwise be doing.
Right.
So why wouldn't that be very challenging for them to accept and to get comfortable with,
Right.
knowing that somebody like LP Simonelli would be stepping in and essentially doing the job that they would do for the city and district. So it was very challenging for us, and it has taken us, time to develop that type of relationship with the district
Right.
and to gain their confidence and their trust.
Absolutely.
And we've been very successful in that regard, and it's only by virtue of, the hard work and the commitment and the dedication that our staff has had and that of the districts to make it work.
Right.
Because we're all interested in the same outcome, right?
Absolutely.
And it's about building schools and having some positive change affected and delivered in this community and in the city.
Let's talk about phase 2. Okay, we just finished out phase 2 and we've begun in phase 3. In phase 2, there were several schools that received much attention, one being Hutch Tech. Now, my husband is an alumni from Hutch Tech. I went through the school before and after the renovations. It is magnificent. It's magnificent. What are some of the challenges that the team faced with the unique design of Hutch Tech?
That was one, if not the most challenging project for us to deliver as part of phase 2 of the program. I'll start by saying that the building itself, constructed around the turn of the 19th century, was placed on the historic register in the state of New York several years ago, and it is protected by the state's Historic Preservation Office. So any work that needed to be done at that school needed to be done under the guidance and under with the approval, I should say, of the state's Historic Preservation Office. That's very challenging, because what's desired in terms of an outcome is a school that looks like it belongs in the 21st century.
Right.
Very difficult to do and to deliver with a building that is, approaching 200 years old. The desire at Hutch Tech was, or I should say one of the main program features at Hutch Tech was to provide for a much expanded and current gymnasium facility that the district could use for competition and to hold events at that school. Now, the way the design played out to deliver that to the district was essentially to build a building, an addition, over the top of and inside of an existing portion of the building. So it was very invasive. It was very complicated, and it was very sophisticated, both design and construction, to accomplish what it was that's been done there.
Wow.
So it has truly, it is really one of the showpieces of the district, and that, they have much to be proud of with that new facility.
They just completed that. Was it in December?
It was in December,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, yeah, that's what I remember. And I've seen pictures, I've seen games actually being played there. And the students are so happy to be there.
They seem to be very proud and very happy with what they have.
Absolutely.
We pick on oftentimes, or our conversation is around sort of different program features at each of the schools. But what's also real nice, and what the students are benefiting from, is really a complete gut rehab
That's
of
it.
the existing facility. So they're in classrooms and they're in spaces that have all of the latest technology, have the room and the facilities and the resources available for them to really be successful
That's it,
with
and
their
it
education.
encourages them. Right, exactly. You know, they're in a new school. It encourages them to want to do better
Exactly.
because of their surroundings.
Exactly.
That's wonderful. Let's talk about phase 3. Before I go into it, I just want to identify what the schools are. We have Hillary Park Montessori at 73 Pawnee Parkway, Bennett Park Montessori at 342 Clinton Street, the Academy at 161 Benzinger, the International School, 141 Hoyt Street, the Herman Badillo Bilingual Academy at 300 South Elmwood Avenue, City Honors, 186 East North Street, Riverside Institute of Technology at 51 Ontario Street, South Park High School at 150 Southside Parkway, and Burgard High School at 400 Kensington Avenue. Pretty amazing list.
Terrific lineup of schools to be
It
done
sure
in the
is.
third phase. We have done something different as we've embarked upon phase 3 of the program. For the first time in phase 3, we chose to finance the projects in 2 separate pieces.
Okay.
What led to that decision and that direction that we took was to bring the first group of phase 3 projects into construction at or about the time that the phase 2 projects were being completed. Tracy, you yourself have worked with us on a number of different business and workforce development related issues. And it's important for us to plan for some continuance in the work.
Absolutely.
So to provide for that continuance so there wouldn't be an interruption in the work, we did choose to finance phase 3 a little bit differently.
Okay.
We're well into construction with 3 of the schools in the first half of phase 3, and we're looking in the next couple of weeks here towards the end of February to finance the second half of phase 3. So we're excited about that. We have our projects approved by the State Education Department. We have our financing structure in place,
Okay.
and we're looking forward to closing on the financing and bringing the rest of the phase 3 schools online.
That's awesome. Let's think about phase 4. Now I know you are laying the foundation for phase 4. What does LP Simonelli, the Board of Education, the Joint Schools Board, what has to happen to ensure that there will be a phase 4, that the financing and everything will be in place by the time we are ready for phase 4?
I think a couple of the key factors to providing for the continuance of the program, as you've discussed, really is a couple of things. One, from a delivery standpoint, LP Simonelli and the district and the city need to continue to demonstrate success
Right.
in what it is that we're doing in the current phase that's being either designed or in construction. The second thing that needs to be done is the district needs to continue to demonstrate to the State Education Department a need for more schools. That need for schools is driven by the current enrollments and the projected enrollments of the students in the schools.
Okay.
Now, one of the desired outcomes since the program began was success.
Okay.
And the district is interested in improving the the scholastic, the scores and the test scores, and improving upon the quality of the education being provided for through the Buffalo Schools system,
Okay.
which will result in students wanting to come back to the Buffalo School system. The trend over the past several years has been, for the most part, a pretty steady decline in the enrollments in the district. What we're hoping for here is, through the success of the program, that we reverse that trend and students desire to attain an education through the Buffalo School system. That being said, the State Education Department is looking very closely at a district-wide strategic plan that needs to be updated
Okay.
for the next phase
Okay.
to be done and to be authorized by the State Education Department. We are just completing now, or I should say we've recently completed an update to the strategic plan that will identify Phase 4 schools.
Right.
The Board of Education has reviewed that plan at a committee level, and we're hoping that as early as next week, February 13th, we'll receive approval from the Board of Education on our update to the strategic plan that would identify Phase 4 schools.
Okay.
We've begun to meet with the officials in the State Education Department to talk to them about our updating of the plan and giving them some sense of time as to when we might be able to communicate to them and present to them an update to the strategic plan that's been approved by the Board of Education, substantiated and driven by the enrollments and the enrollment projections that have been updated. So we're very confident that we have a product in the update to the strategic plan that the State Education Department is going to be very comfortable with. And we're excited to launch that and to get that started. Again, a few minutes ago I talked about the need from a business development and workforce development standpoint for there to be a continuance in the program.
Correct.
And that there not be any unnecessary interruption in the progress that would interrupt, of course, some of the workforce and business development initiatives. So the timing is just perfect for us. We're anxious to get communicated to our local delegation and the lawmakers our selection for the Phase 4 projects. We're anxious to demonstrate to them our continued success in the program, and we're optimistic that the governor and our elected officials in the state of New York are going to be willing to commit to the completion of this program.
We spoke about partnerships, and what I really liked about this project is the true public-private partnerships that we have developed with groups in the community. How do you feel about working with such a diverse group or stakeholders within the project?
Well, Buffalo is such a diverse community.
Yes, it is.
And we appreciated the fact that throughout the delivery of this program, and understanding that it would need to be done by a number of different stakeholders at various places throughout the city and the district and the community, that some form of partnership and some form of open communication and dialogue would need to be established.
Right.
I think thus far through our delivery of the program, we've been able to demonstrate that those type of alliances and those type of partnerships have been very helpful in fostering and enabling us really to continue with the program. We have, as we've talked about a couple of minutes ago, we have a number of different programs put in place from a business development standpoint and a business utilization standpoint for minority and women businesses. We also have a number of programs in place to help foster diversification in the workforce, but we've also been, for the last few years, conducting business training programs and providing for some exposure to people that are interested in our industry and in our business to see if there is something that they would like to pursue. We're going to soon embark upon a much more formalized business mentoring program. I think that this is something that would be really beneficial to the companies that have begun as a result of this program, but yet could benefit from being mentored by a more seasoned and experienced contractor. So we're looking forward to launching that program.
That's awesome. So it's definitely safe to say that this project has made a major impact in the community with the groups, with the partnerships that we have developed. There's just a major impact all the way around.
you know, this program fosters other type
Right.
developments throughout the community. And I've been to a number of the schools and have participated in a number of discussions that surround redevelopment and reconstruction and new construction perhaps in homes in the residential market around some of these schools. Absolutely a desired outcome, and we're hopeful that we're going to see more of it as we continue.
Absolutely. Well, Jean, personally, I'm excited about phase 3. I'm excited about what's to come for phase 4. You have told us basically it's not just about brick and mortar. You know, this project is about building or reconstructing schools for the students, for parents, for the community, and for the city of Buffalo.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm sitting here now with Tyra Johnson, who is LP Simonelli's project manager for diversity and neighborhood redevelopment for the Buffalo Public Schools. How are you, Tyra?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Listen, we just had a great conversation with Gene Partridge. He spoke to us about how he began his construction career. Why don't you start by telling us how you started your construction career?
I started construction. Well, to tell you the truth, a lot of people ask me that question, primarily because there's not that many women that work in construction management. My degree is in civil engineering, and for a while I was working in transportation planning and engineering, and it didn't quite suit me, so I decided that I was going to venture out and try to find another career. My resume was circulated, and in some ways you can say that LP Simonelli found me. Basically, they saw my resume, decided to call me in, told me about the Buffalo Schools program, and I just thought it was fabulous, and I thought the opportunity to work in the field and also in the office and also working to revitalize the city was great.
Let's talk about the diversity portion of your title.
Okay.
We all know that diversity is very important within the Buffalo Public Schools program, especially to the subcontractors and the workforce overall throughout the community. How has it been working, and how are our numbers? How are we doing overall?
Well, overall, I would say that we're doing pretty well, actually. The goals for the Buffalo Schools project are, for workforce, it's 23% minority participation and 7% women participation. And for business enterprises, it's 25% minority participation and 5% women business enterprise participation. And for both phases, we've met our goals, and the last phase, phase 2, the final report just came out, and we actually exceeded our goals. So we're doing fairly well, but that's not to say that it's not a difficult task. A lot of times we have contractors or scopes of work that doesn't quite see the diverse participation that other scopes of work may have. So it's a challenge trying to find people either to work in that industry or companies that can help fill their area of expertise.
Let's talk about curriculum enrichment. I know you are a true believer that a construction site is the way to educate students through the Buffalo Public Schools program. How are we incorporating the curriculum enrichment programs within the schools?
Okay. Well, curriculum enrichment is very important for a number of reasons. One of the reasons is because the construction industry as a whole is actually aging out. And by aging out, I mean there's older people working in the industry that may retire soon. And there's really not people there to replace those career professionals. So all over the country, you see the construction industry scrambling to get students active or learn about the field. But here especially it's important because we have an environment in which is almost like a classroom, an open classroom that the students can learn from. It's a wonderful opportunity for children to be exposed to construction. So with our curriculum enrichment program, we actually have several different programs that we work on within curriculum enrichment, but one in particular is the ACE mentorship program. And ACE stands for Architecture, Construction, and Engineering. We involve high school students that are all throughout the Buffalo Public Schools, juniors and seniors. We have a good group this year. They come on a monthly basis, and they're exposed to industry professionals. So in other words, we have people come in and speak to the students about what they do, how they do it, how much schooling they had, maybe how much they get paid, all those questions that students want to hear. In addition to that, we're going to have some field trips. We have a field trip coming up very soon so that they could see the construction in action and the progress of the schools. So it's a great opportunity, and we have a lot of kids excited about the possibility of working in the construction field.
That's wonderful. Now, you mentioned ACE mentoring program.
Right.
If a student is seeing this for the first time and hearing about this ACE mentoring and say, hey, I want to get involved, what do they need to do?
Okay. Well, there is an application process, but we work very closely with the school district, with the Career and Tech Ed department. And so they're well aware of the program and what we're doing and when we'll be reaching out to students for applications. So basically in the fall, we'll ask for students to apply to the program. It's too late for this year because we already established our program and we have a group of students that are already involved. But for next fall, if you're a junior or senior, you can definitely reach out to your school counselors or to Career and Tech Ed, or you can even call Seminelli, LP Seminelli, and ask us how to get involved.
Let's talk a little bit about neighborhood development.
Okay.
What are some of the things that are involved to encourage neighborhood development?
Okay. Well, both the mayor and the superintendent see this school construction project as a catalyst for revitalizing our neighborhoods. And it takes a lot of different resources. So it's my job to try to figure out, what resources we can tap into to see if we can help the neighborhoods around the schools. Some of them are not necessarily in the best neighborhoods, and by that I mean there may be vacant lots or graffiti or things of that sort that are really hindering the overall appearance of that school environment. So we've been working with a couple of groups trying to get involved, asking for their help, asking them if they need our help in order to necessitate or try to improve those neighborhoods. For example, one of our bigger projects is we're working with Brush Up Buffalo. We're actually a sponsor for this year. Brush Up Buffalo is an organization in which one day of the year they go out and paint homes in a particular neighborhood. So this year, even though we haven't narrowed it down to the exact location, it will be around one of our reconstructed schools.
Wow.
So it should be a great day, and we hope that everybody comes out to help paint.
That's awesome. So it's Brush Up Buffalo that we are sponsoring this year,
Yes.
correct? Okay. So if anyone out there has any interest in maybe starting your own construction business, want to know more information on how you can become involved with the Buffalo Public Schools program, is it safe to say we can leave your name and number?
Yes.
Contact Tyra Johnson at LP Seminelli at
566-3748. And if I could just do one more plug, we're having our first program in a series of technical assistance programs. The first one is on February 14th, Thursday, February 14th. It will be on project labor agreements, so anybody that's interested in that, if you've been in the construction industry for a few years but you have limited PLA experience, please come and join us, and they can contact me at 566-3748 if they would like to participate.
This is awesome. Thank you so much, Tyra, for
Thank
joining me
you.
today. Thank you for all of the information that you've shared with our viewers. Look forward to hearing more great things for Phase 3 and Phase 4.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you, and we'll be right back. Thank you for joining us today. I'd like to again thank Tyra Johnson and Jean Partridge for being our guests. I also like to send out a special thank you to Donna Brown, who was not only my mentor, but a very, very good friend of mine. Donna, on behalf of LP Seminelli, congratulations on your new appointment as Deputy Mayor. Thank you again for joining us. If you have any feedback or questions, please feel free to contact me. You can reach me at 855-1200 extension 268, or you can email me at tcardwell@lpseminelli.com. Thank you again, and until next time, we'll see you again. Thank you.